I don't know how they did it, but they made him pay-per-view. Chris Eubank Jr. has the highly coveted and lucrative and alluring IBO title. Now, let's not bullshit around. The IBO title used to be very prestigious. Something has happened, what was that, in the mid-2000s or so, where, you know, I don't know, something happened. So, they are really, really trying now, or at least when it comes, when you look at all the other divisions, at least when it comes to Eubank Jr., they're like, yo, he's the IBF motherfucking champion. I mean, the IBO champion. You see what I'm saying? Chris Eubank Jr. is very entertaining as a fighter. The issue is we're still trying to find out who he is. You see what I'm saying? 24-1 with 19 KOs. Biggest fight of his career was against Billy Joe Saunders in 2014 in a fight where the first half of the fight, he was getting outboxed. The second half of the fight, you know, he started to find his rhythm as far as pressuring Billy Joe Saunders. And Billy Joe Saunders was starting to slow down, but Billy Joe Saunders did win the fight in majority of people's eyes. He then went on to fight Dmitry Chutinov, and he just beat the snot out of him, Tony Jeter. Which one of them that he hurt real bad? I believe they're okay now. It was Nick Blackwell. He fought Gary Spike O'Sullivan, you know, beat him. Nick Blackwell was the one that he had hurt. Nick Blackwell, thankfully, he's, you know, doing good again because he went back and tried to spar again, then went back into a coma, something crazy. You know, Tom Doran, and then he signed with a promotional company called Poxon Sports when he fought Renaud Quinlan. Stopped him and won that lucrative, alluring IBO title, and that was on pay-per-view. So now, depending on how you look at it, Arthur Abraham could be the biggest fight of his career. Now, you may say Arthur Abraham is a little bit long in the tooth. Even though he's only 37, he's got like a lot of like miles on him. You would think that he's like fucking 48 or some shit for real, but he's only 37 years old. 46'5", 30 KOs, and the thing is, he's got a punch and he can box. He's got a nice jab, and that right hand of his is pretty fucking accurate, you know? So looking at his resume, looking at, you know, his last few fights since he lost to Gabriel Ramirez, where he just really, really looked bad. People like, oh, yeah, he's done. He should retire. He bounced back with 2 wins over, of course, you don't know these guys, but over there in Germany where he fights, Arthur Abraham really brings in a lot of money. You know, so you may think that, you know, Arthur Abraham is, you know, he's very marketable over there in Germany. This fight, by the way, with Chris Eubank Jr. is happening in Wembley. I'm interested to see how that crowd's going to look and who's really, really going to show up. So, before that, he fought Martin Murray. Martin Murray had moved up to 168 pounds. He had that, I forgot how many times they fought, Robert Stieglitz, and then those 2 fights with Paul Smith. In the first fight, I feel that Paul Smith had won. You know, so of course you remember him from the Super 6 tournament. So, Arthur Abraham has a nice, solid, like, resume when you look all the way down to, you know, Edison Miranda when he was undefeated. You see what I'm saying? You go look at he fought Edison Miranda twice. You know, of course, the Super 6 with Jermaine Taylor. You know, we all know how that turned out. You know, Andre Durrell with, you know, that controversial, you know, hit while he was down. You know, Carl the Cobra Frost. You know, Andre Ward, of course, he lost to. The Stieglitz fights, what was that, 3 of them? You know, 4 of them. You know, Paul Smith, when Paul Smith was actually, you know, like good at that point in time, when he wasn't, you know, looking all fat and shit. And he blocked me for what? I don't know. He blocked me on Twitter. I don't know. It just came out of nowhere. It was like, bam, blocked. But anyway, then he fought, you know, Martin Murray and Gilberto Ramirez. So looking at his resume at 168 pounds, you know, that he's got, that's a Hall of Fame resume. Win or loss, if you look at it. You know, so I'm interested to see, you know, like what kind of fight Chris Eubank Jr. is going to, you know, fight with him. Because one thing we know about Arthur Abraham is if he crack you once, you're going to go down. You know? And you know how Chris Eubank Jr. likes to fuck around in there. He better not fuck around with him. You know, Chris Eubank Jr. likes to do all that shit and the little stalking and all that. You know, and turn into, he be getting punched all in his neck and everything. But it's going to be on July the 15th. You suckers over in the UK got to pay for it. That's what you get. We got to pay for a whole bunch of bullshit over here, too, in the States. I still have some issues forgiving Chavez Jr. You know, there's a special place in my heart for him, but I still have some issues, Chavez Jr. So it's going to be July the 15th in Wembley for the highly coveted, lucrative, and alluring, seductive IBO title. I'm T-Street Controversy. This is T-Street Controversy Live. Please subscribe.